Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Marissa Levin on the line, and she's co-founder and culture champion over at Successful Culture International. Marissa, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's so great to be here.
So I'm excited to get into your G.R.A.C.E leadership model and what you're doing to help businesses navigate our current situation. And as I told you, I have a preference for the name Grace. It's my mom's name. But before we do that, I want to get a little bit further into what you're doing over at Successful Culture International. Tell us a little bit more about your company, please.
Sure. So Successful Culture International, basically our main purpose is to help create great places to work. So we work with leaders and their leadership teams to really identify what is impeding their ability to create the most productive, most inspiring, and safest corporate cultures possible. And then we work through those barriers to break them down and to create environments where employees, feel safe, feel connected, feel inspired, feel part of something bigger than themselves. And through our work, we also educate the leaders and the leadership teams on the various skills they need to be the best leaders possible. We do that through our culture development lifecycle, which is really the only model and process out there that leads companies through a specific method to build a great culture. And then we have the Scale Academy, which is the Successful Culture Advanced Leadership Education Academy. And that is a 14-module program that educates leaders and their leadership teams on various topics and important life skills such as self-awareness, emotional intelligence, communication skills, unconscious and conscious bias in the workplace, managing conflict, having difficult conversations, building teams, really the skills that all organizations need to thrive and reach their potential. So that's really the work of Successful Culture International in a nutshell.
So I want to get into your G.R.A.C.E leadership model because I think what you're doing is really important, especially it's always important, but more now so than ever, in my opinion. So first off, tell us a little bit, define the G.R.A.C.E leadership model, and then tell us a little bit more about it, please.
So we invented the G.R.A.C.E leadership model in response to the environment in which we're working with the COVID-19 pandemic. It is a model that stands for grit, resilience, adaptability, connection, and empathy. And basically, it's for organizations with leadership teams, literally from 2 people to 200 people, that want to ensure that all their leaders are equipped with the skill sets and the mindsets to lead their people through challenging times. And the reason that this is important now is that leaders and their teams really need guidance on what to communicate and how to communicate, because we have found across the board that leaders within an organization right now are struggling how to communicate at this time. And communicating with grace, which we've identified, is essential for maintaining a culture of trust. So how we communicate with compassion and empathy will determine how strong our relationships will be with our employees, our customers, partners, and vendors once we move beyond this crisis.
What are some of the types of companies that are right for G.R.A.C.E, for the G.R.A.C.E leadership model, like niches or company size, and just give it an idea?
So, we get that question a lot about who is our target market in general for Successful Culture International. And the way that I always answer that is that it is for any company that has a leadership team that fully understands the importance of investing in their people and their culture. And really, it's the same for the G.R.A.C.E model. So for any organizations where the leadership teams need help figuring out how to communicate and how to lead through this crisis, that applies to all industries. It applies to all company sizes, all vertical markets. it really depends on how much the leadership team understands the importance of investing in their people. And, the GRACE model, the way we've designed it is it addresses all three aspects of leadership that leaders need to be focusing on. That includes self-leadership, where you dig deep to find your personal grit and resilience so that you can be strong for others. Organizational leadership, where you can be adaptable and ready to pivot on a dime to remain relevant in today's environment. And then leadership of others is maintaining that strong connection to those you lead and leading with empathy and compassion in every moment. So it's grit, resilience, adaptability, connection, and empathy. That's what allows people to lead with grace in all of the organizations that we work with.
So I know this is going to vary from organization to organization, size of company, founders. I mean, I know this varies, but I do know certain themes tend to arise. Where do you find companies are maybe having some opportunity areas right now and where the GRACE leadership model kind of fills in?
So the opportunities really are to recognize that adaptability and flexibility and the ability to pivot literally on a dime, that is what is going to make the difference for all the companies that are going to emerge stronger. And it's not just about adaptability at the organizational level, it's about adaptability at the personal level. So for everyone in an organization, this is an opportunity for them to pick up their heads, look at the organization differently, and figure out how they can contribute to the conversation of leadership. This is not a time to be timid or to feel that they have to step back. This is a time for all people in organizations to step up and to step out and say, you know what, I've got an idea. I think that maybe we should consider doing it this way. This is what I see happening in the company. And when I was running my first company called Information Experts, which I grew to about $14 million until I exited out of that about 8 years ago, one of the things that I did as a leader is I recognized that every employee in my company saw the company differently than I did and saw it differently than their coworkers did. And I always really valued their perspective and how they engage with the company. And I always welcomed that feedback. And this is an opportunity for leaders to really go deep into their company and say, look, I'm looking to you, my employees, to help me figure out what is it that we need to be doing? What are you seeing? What opportunities do you think that we should be examining? This is an opportunity for leaders to make sure that all of their employees know that they have a voice, and it's an opportunity for employees to speak up and use their voice. So that's the biggest opportunity.
That's awesome. So, Marissa, if somebody's listening to this and they want to learn more about the GRACE leadership model and also just to learn more about Success Culture International in general, I mean, what's the best way for them to reach out?
So our website is successfulculture.com, all one word, successfulculture.com. And we have information on our regular services, the Culture Development Lifecycle, our Scale Academy, as well as the GRACE model and everything else that we provide at successfulculture.com. And then I'm on LinkedIn through Marissa Levin, and Successful Culture has a LinkedIn page. We have a Facebook page. I'm on Twitter. We kind of are everywhere. If you Google my name or you Google Successful Culture International, then we'll come up. But this model, we're offering a 45-minute webinar, or training program for free, literally for free, to any company who wants to get their leaders on the same page with a framework regarding how they can be leading others in an organization. This is a great opportunity for any leader out there who wants to equip their leadership team with a framework on how they can navigate this. And we're happy to do that for any company that wants to learn how to live, lead with grace.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Marissa, it's been great having you on the show today. Appreciate you and all the great work that you're doing to help our leaders out there. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Leave me a review in the Apple iTunes store. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, give me a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments on the video. Love to know what kind of projects you're working on and what you have going on in your world. And Marissa, thanks again for coming on the show.